All right, as per usual, Ubisoft was kind of a shit show, but I've got 4 pages of notes here, so let's go over what Ubisoft showed. They started off with a surprise reveal of South Park: The Fractured But Whole, the new South Park RPG from Matt and Trey. It is a direct sequel to Stick of Truth. However, rather than being based in fantasy stuff, it's superheroes. It's the Coon and Friends doing their whole thing. So that is going to be a lot of fun. Not a ton was said. However, it was shown that Ubisoft San Francisco is the one developing this rather than Obsidian, which puts me at edge because I really like Obsidian. Aside from that, no other specific details. Aside from that, direct sequel. You're the new kid. It's gonna go into the new kid's origins a little bit. That's kind of it. Then it went into its standard stuff. Ubisoft likes to do a lot of showy stage business. That's why they hire Aisha Tyler every year. Even though I like Aisha Tyler and Archer, I like Archer a lot. However, on stage at the Ubisoft press conference, she is always just grating and awful. And hey, guess what? This year was on a continuation of that. Her scripted jokes are bad. Her non-scripted jokes are worse. And of course, Yves Guillemot showed up a couple times to be the delightful, tiny pixie man that he is, and that was lovely. He is the Tinkerbell of the industry. Anyways, they went from that right into another new IP. Well, a new game, but this is a new IP. A game called For Honor by Ubisoft Montreal. They claimed it's a new genre. I would disagree. Anyways, what it looks like is it is a multiplayer medieval melee battle arena sort of thing. It looked kind of like it was taking place on a big front, and you had a bunch of AI soldiers rushing at each other, and then a bunch of player soldiers who were a bit stronger, a bit better, kind of going at them as well. And then very quickly, the AI soldiers would kind of find themselves in front, and then all the actual players found themselves in kind of an arena sort of place and were fighting with some kind of slow, clunky-looking melee combat. It looked visceral. It looked like it was heavy and had some impact, which is nice. But it did look a little slow. And when they were fighting the AI guys, it kind of looked to me like, what if you took Dynasty Warriors and just cranked the tempo way, way down? I don't think it was bad. It was just a little weird. Also, they have a distinct misunderstanding of how the swords work. The knight guys kept grabbing their big two-handed swords and then turning around so they were holding it by the blade and killing people with the handle, which that is explicitly not how those work. Aside from that, looking here to see if there's anything else specific. Not really. It sounds like it's very early. It was live gameplay, but the build seemed pretty early. Beta registration is open, but the beta itself is very far off. You're kind of registering for their mailing list if you're going on for that. Also, I've heard that website is down, though it might be up at this point. After that, they showed a couple of expansion packs. First off, the crew is getting an expansion pack called the Wild Run expansion. As per usual, they didn't say anything actually specific. However, monster trucks and drag racers look to be within that trailer they showed, so I'm going to say those are probably in there, hopefully. Also, they did say specifically that it will completely overhaul the graphics for the crew. How so, I'm not sure, but that could be cool. Having it, really revamping that would be nice. They also displayed an expansion pack for Trials Fusion called Trials Fusion Awesome Level Max. The trailer showed absolutely nothing and was instead a bunch of dumb bullshit that the internet would like. It was a cat riding a unicorn firing guns, and then there was rainbows and fire, and it's just it's I get it, guys. Ubisoft reads the internet. Make games instead of reading the internet. Please. Please, God. Stop referencing the internet. Anyways, then we got to see some Division stuff. They showed some actual gameplay of the Division. We know that a large part of the game now is going to be taking place in an area called the Dark Zone, which is basically sounds like a big quarantine area where the big virus that has wiped out most of humanity, a lot of it is kind of still there. The basic gameplay loop seems to be that players will be able to join up into a group, go into the Dark Zone, find some cool fucking loot, kill some guys, and head to an extraction point where they kind of defend the area for a little bit and then get extracted. However, in that time, they're able to make alliances with people. You will run across other players, and you can join up with them, or you can try to fight them. You will run across NPCs and bad guys. You want to deal with them, and you'll kind of go on from there. Things I noted are player chatter is constant, at least in their demo, and it totally ruined the really cool atmosphere they were trying to build. Also, one of the bad guys totally did a Wilhelm scream when he died. You know that? Rah! That happened. It was favorite part of that demo. It looked more or less like what we've seen before. And the game has what I would like to call active asshole simulation technology, in which during that point where you're defending that little area while you're waiting for the extraction, you can totally just, like, leave the group you're in and then shoot your friends and then steal their loot because you're a dick. So, the worst person you know will love The Division. Also, people who you actually like will like The Division, but they'll hate playing with that guy. Coming out March 8th, 2016. Oh, and a beta. Betas will start on all platforms, PC, Xbox One, and PS4. That will start next year. Now for a game I really did not expect to get any time on an E3 stage. Anno 2205. The Anno series is a fairly hardcore trading and city building simulator. It's a little niche. It's not the sort of thing most people care to even think about. But hey, it got E3 time. They showed a cinematic trailer which was like, hey, the moon, that showed the moon was colonized, and technology is crazy, and all sorts of stuff was happening, though it obviously none of that impacted gameplay, and really didn't really do much in that cinematic trailer either. Then they showed us an actual little gameplay trailer, and it looked exactly like what you'd expect. You are building up different parts of the map to harvest grain and harvest minerals and trade, and then you're eventually going to the moon, and you're doing it on the moon, and that's gonna be fun. Beta for that starts later this year. Then they showed what is, of course, their most important game, Just Dance 2016. God. That will be on everything. It's coming out this October, and it will be on fucking everything. PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Wii U, and maybe there's a PC version. I don't know. They also confirmed that unlike in past years, if you're using one of those motion systems, you don't need a camera anymore. No PlayStation Eye or Kinect. You can just use your smartphone as a controller. I assume that you put it on your body and it kind of tracks that you're moving. The deep dark secret of the Just Dance games for a while now has been that they don't actually track your movement that much. They kind of just they kind of just check to see if you're moving and score you on that. And then they had Jason Derulo, who I actually couldn't tell who he was. I had to ask somebody who that guy singing was. He came up and he sang a song, and then Aisha Tyler went on for like 5 minutes about how he's so great. And that was that. Then they showed Rainbow Six Siege, which that was exciting. Rainbow Six Siege looks really cool. It's it's your basic kind of idea. The terrorists in this game are ridiculous. They are super terrorists. They have no allegiance to anybody, and they hate everything, and they're building a super virus that will kill everyone. So you have been given access by the Rainbow Six organization to build a group of super cops from all the organizations in the world. You pick your favorite ones, and you lead them in a campaign against them. And again, permadeath is confirmed. When you die in the campaign, when you die in a mission, you are dead. You are done. And they did confirm that there's a campaign. Angela Bassett, of all people, will be playing the character known as Six, who seems to lead the Rainbow Six organization and will be a key figure in the story. And she came up for a very, very awkward conversation with Aisha Tyler about this, where she said the word, about, I'd say 40 times. Which, that's not to her. Poor Angela Bassett had to deal with that. I feel bad for her. Anyways, they also made clear that Tarot Hunt is back. I'm not a big Rainbow Six guy. That's kind of before my time. That was more PC stuff. That was before I was really on PC. And they've confirmed that mode, though, which is apparently a big deal, is back, including the classic version of it, though they'll have 4 total different Tarot Hunt modes. More importantly, it can be played both with friends and solo. And the AI is apparently very, very smart, though, to be frank, during their gameplay demo. The AI seemed good. It did not seem like it was outsmarting these developers at every turn. So, whatever. And the basic flow there seems to be attack the area, kind of find your way in, get your entrance point, get your basic attack on, find the bombs, defuse them, and then defend the defusing point until the bombs are done, and then you go find the next bomb, you do that again. So, good flow there, basically. Then the beta for that starts September 24th. And if I'm not mistaken, I seem to remember that releases in October if the Microsoft conference, my notes from Microsoft conference are right. So, there you go. Then they got into some Trackmania, which is finally coming to consoles. I mean, I want to say it's been on some console sort of stuff before in the past in some very light kind of way. But now it's coming to consoles proper with a game called Trackmania Turbo. And it will have user-made stuff within it, supposedly. It sounds like the editor is coming over in some fashion. And gameplay-wise, it looks like Trackmania. You are racing across tracks that are pretty basic and can do all sorts of weird stuff. and you're racing against ghosts. You're not racing against real people, and the goal is just times. The big thing I noticed is there's a lot more background elements and decorations. Lots of embellishments and like crazy balloons floating everywhere, and signs and all sorts of stuff, and that's kind of neat. And the interesting thing they noted is that something the game comes with is what's called random track mode, where it will just generate tracks for you out of the map editor. It'll generate some land, it'll generate some tracks, and it'll cover it in embellishments, and there you go. So that seems kind of cool. Trackmania is a very niche, very weird thing, but I feel like they're simplifying it in a way that I think could maybe work on the consoles. And it also comes with a new environment, which is called Roller Coaster Lagoon. If you understand how Trackmania works, a new environment's a big deal because it changes the handling and everything. I don't know if that's the case actually for this, but it's something that's in here. Then we got a little bit of AC Syndicate, but like nothing really. They showed a really nice-looking cinematic trailer that went on very long, and absolutely no gameplay, like, at all, which seemed really surprising, actually. In that trailer, we kind of saw what we had seen before. There's a little bit of gang stuff, some vehicle jacking, and by vehicles, I mean carriages. Carriage jacking. They showed some real Dickensian shit. The main character, Jacob Fry. No sign of his sister at all, which I thought was interesting. I would have thought they would have put her front and center, but you saw Jacob Fry getting into this, like, nebulous Victorian factory that was doing a bunch of crap with forges and children, and he beats up an evil old taskmaster, and then the workers come in and kill him, and kill the taskmaster, and then Jacob Fry escapes, and it's all like, oh, you did a good job inciting the peasantry. And then you see him later again in a bar, once again kind of doing the same thing, beating up everybody in the bar's boss. And then everybody in the bar joins Jacob. Apparently, it looks like bar fight recruitments might be a thing. I don't know. Again, all cinematic trailer. I really can't say. So, yeah. But apparently they do have gameplay there. It is worth noting that. It's not like it's not done. There's gameplay on the floor. They just didn't want to show it on their conference that they were telecasting live to, the world for some reason. And then lastly, they ended the show with a reveal of a new game, Ghost Recon Wildlands, a massive open world game. Looks like it's set in South America and maybe a bit of Mexico, maybe both. It was hard to tell. Focused on taking out the cartels, from as far as I was able to see. Co-op is a big focus. Large part of the game seems to be doing raids on these bases of the cartels and taking out their stuff and like capturing cocaine shipments and stuff like that. And it's got a real kind of gritty, like, it's not quite Grindhouse, but it's Grindhouse influence. It's not quite colorful enough to be Grindhouse. It's still very gritty and Tom Clancy-y, but there's a little bit of Grindhouse in there, which kind of made it sound cool. And that's done by their Paris studio. No word on release or anything for that. This was their first reveal, but it seemed interesting, and I'm looking forward to kind of getting more info on that as it goes. And that was Ubisoft. Mercifully brief. There were a couple cool things in there. I'm very excited there's another South Park game coming, even though I'm a little worried that it's not Obsidian working on it. But I really liked Stick of Truth. It was one of our favorite games of last year. We talked about it quite a bit during our Game of the Year awards. So to get another game with a hilarious, wonderful title like The Fractured Butthole is good. I'm interested in that. That Ghost Recon game sounds interesting. The Division, for as much as I'm totally not really a huge Tom Clancy guy, I feel if they can do single player all right in that, I'm curious. I kind of feel the same about For Honor. I don't really know what the deal is with For Honor. I'm a little worried about that. And R6 Siege, I'll check out. That sounds cool as well. And AC, I'm kind of done with that. But the rest was, the rest. Ubisoft was Ubisoft. It was weird. It was annoying. They spent way too much time trying to pander to just internet culture in general. The word meme was used regularly, and I did not like it. So, take that as you will. I'm going to go have a break, order some pizza, eat a little dinner, because very soon we will have Sony starting up, kicking off the end of the night. That'll be our last press conference for the day, and then you'll be able to join us tomorrow for Nintendo. We're not going to do the Square Enix press conference just because I actually didn't know about it until really late, and we're already behind the ball with RE3 coverage as it is, so we're just gonna skip that one. But yes, we'll be back in a little bit with Sony, and then tomorrow with Nintendo. Go have a good dinner, everybody. I'm out. Later.